Sergey Kovalev and his team are officially filing a protest to try to get the Ward TKO loss changed to a no contest. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, the channel donations, and the Patreon patrons. We working. Now, I just read a very interesting article on the Las Vegas Review Journal. In case you want to read it in its entirety, the link is in the description. And the title is Sergey Kovalev files protest to change Andre Ward loss to a no contest, right? And according to them, Kovalev's lawyers have contacted the Nevada State Athletic Commission, and they let them know that they want this looked into, this matter looked at, and they want it reversed. Instead of a TKO loss, changed to a no contest. And it says, it is very important that the commission understand that a protest is not an attack upon the competence of the referee any more than a video replay in the NFL or MLB is an attack on the competence of the officials in those leagues, the letter read. It is important to get it right where error may have been made. Mr. Weeks is in our list of highly competent officials, and nothing herein should be constructed as an attack on his overall competence. And it says Kovalev's lawyers said the mistake started before the bout when Weeks gave inaccurate instructions that shots below the belt line were allowed. And then it goes on to say, from that misinterpretation of the rules, seemingly every time Mr. Ward got into trouble, he hit Sergey Kovalev low, the letter reads. We are submitting video showing a large number of low blows. And it says the rule does not state the referee must request the review. So that's basically the gist of it. You guys can, again, check out the interview. Now, time for my thoughts. I think this is completely absurd and laughable at this point. Like, we're entering Broner versus Garcia fight week shortly after Mayweather-McGregor, Canelo versus Triple G. And it seems this loss still has not been... Team Kovalev has still not come to grips with this loss. You know what I mean? And it's crazy and almost ludicrous at this point that Team Kovalev is trying this hard to convince the world or the Nevada State Athletic Commission that this was error and to save face and then change it to a no. I mean, it's just, to me, this is, I was there. I covered both of the fights live. The first fight, obviously, very rough stuff, back and forth, action, competitive. The second fight was much different, very different. Ward and his team, they let the public know at the Oakland press tour that they had hindrances too, but they didn't make no excuses. They said they were unable to do road work. Andre's knee was blown out or something, and they had issue on it. And you've seen that in the first fight. The second fight, completely different. There were no knockdowns, aside from when Kovalev got folded up. But Ward didn't get knocked down. He looked a lot more fluid. And really, I seen Kovalev, who was trying the same basic 1-2, and he couldn't get it off. He still had a good jab, but he looked a lot more one-dimensional. So, I mean, all this stuff is crazy to me. And I'll bet money that this won't get reversed and changed to a no contest for a few reasons. One, they're not gonna go off of Tony Weeks's alleged Twitter, which I don't believe that is his Twitter at all. You know what I mean? Tony Weeks _. So that stupid stuff that, see, this is a funny thing about what I do. I told y'all in January, tell the truth. Tell the truth. You know what I mean? People are, oh, but Tony Weeks apologized on his Twitter. Okay. We'll see if that is Tony Weeks' Twitter with this particular protest, right? That's gonna come out, right? Because to this day, correct me if I'm wrong, You guys be the judge in the comment section and send me the link. But that whole Twitter that the fans just cling on to and say, oh, that's Tony Weeks. He said he was sorry. Okay. Then there shouldn't be an issue. That should help Kovalev's case. So we're going to find out if that's Tony Weeks' real Twitter. So again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I still to this day have not heard or seen an interview from Tony Weeks apologizing, saying, hey, you know what? I made a mistake. It shouldn't have been stopped. Whoop-de-whoop. I still haven't seen that. I have not seen one interview. You know what I mean? So to me, that whole Twitter thing did not look real. So stuff like that's not going to hold up. Second of all, is I told you guys, it's very similar to the NFL since they reference the NFL. If the referees rule something is a touchdown, like, oh, the ball broke the plane, that's a touchdown, right? And that's what it was ruled. And then the dog pile of NFL players jumped on top or whatever, and the initial ruling was a touchdown. To reverse that, you have to have complete, compelling, and indisputable proof that the referees got it wrong. Like they're saying that, hey, you know what? This was actually not a touchdown. You know what I mean? You have to be able to, the videotape has to show that. The videotape has to show like, hey, you know what? This was actually not a touchdown. You know what I mean? Court is the same way. Court, they deal with just concrete, and they deal with absolutes as much as possible. Not to say like people have not been convicted for murder, but that's why you have a stronger case if you have forensic evidence, because you could be like, hey, if you never met this person, why is your DNA inside the person, or why it was your fingernail under their, or your skin fibers under their fingernails or something, because they were trying to fend off the attack. You know what I mean? So that's why those forensic evidence and things like that is desired. So the point being with Ward Kovalev is now, like, okay, you can argue like with tape or whatever that some of the shots were grazing or low or on the belt line or whatever, even though Kovalev had his trunks up high, right? But in addition, if you read this, what it says Kovalev's team is doing is they're trying to protest that this is not an attack on Tony Weeks' competence, but they're protesting, saying that Andre Ward did it intentionally. So that, my friends, is the burden of proof. You have the burden of proving that. How can you prove that he was intentionally trying to low blow you? Again, using this example, Anthony Peterson versus Brandon Rios. It's very easy to tell that Peterson was in trouble, so he was trying to low blow. Very easy, because he was losing the fight, right? Ward, I don't think he was losing the fight, and he wasn't in trouble. So, you know what I mean? They even said something in here that Ward, it says, from the misinterpretation of the rules, seemingly every time Mr. Ward got into trouble, he hit Sergey low. That's what the letter says. So when was Ward in trouble? Like, if anything, he was in trouble in the first fight, in the second round. But it just, how are you going to prove that? So to me, this looks pitiful. And I highly doubt it. Like I said, I would put money on it that it doesn't get overturned. Now, the Rigondeaux situation was a little bit different. And you notice that was more immediate. You're going to wait till a month after. And like, it'd be one thing if Andre Ward failed a drug test. You know what I mean? He like, then it would be changed to a no contest, something like that. If he failed for like a PEDS drug test or something, a post-fight test. Then, because that happened with Orlando Salido, he beat Robert Guerrero. And then it was changed to a no contest because he had something in his system, right? Mike Tyson versus Galata, same thing. Mike Tyson has like marijuana in his system. So that got overruled and overturned and changed. But I just don't get the motion from Kovalev's team and lawyers. To me, this really seems like a desperate plea to save face and like maybe extend their fighters' like shelf life and credibility. Like, oh, he didn't really get stopped. It was all a mistake. But to me, from knowing the game enough, I feel like this is a waste of resources. I really do. And I think it looks pathetic and pitiful, to be honest, just for the simple fact of Kovalev said, all that stuff, I promise everyone I will destroy his boxing career. Put that in the protest. All the memes and pray to your God, I'm Kovalev God, and this is your God. Put all that in the protest. You know what I'm saying? And then now you want to have mercy because the fight got rough and got away from you. That, you know what I mean? That, to me, that's crazy. That's a classic case of a bully getting bullied. You know what I'm saying? And that's just really how I feel. Like, uncut and everything. I just feel like the person is very funny that oh man, it's just funny to me that the person who is basically filing a hearing in a protest is also the person that was taunting the other person. Ward didn't do too much of that. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't on social media like, aha, you Kova bitch and all this and calling them names. He wasn't doing all that. He was just training. And then now all of a sudden, this reminds me of situations where you ever see a person in a video and then they're really the initiator and they instigate a situation and then they get punched in the mouth and then they want to sue. That's just kind of what it goes to. You know what I mean? Like Chris Cyborg and the Angela Mangana situation. Mangana was talking all this about Chris Cyborg, and Chris Cyborg seen her and approached her like, hey, don't be talking about me like that. And she was like, oh, I can say what I want. It's a free country. And Chris Cyborg's like, okay, bah, and punched her in the mouth, and then Mangana pressed charges. You know what I'm saying? That's what this reminds me of. Is situations like that where you completely instigated a situation and you got pretty much what you had coming. You know what I mean? And you get punched in the mouth, and then you want to file a lawsuit. You know what I mean? This is obviously not a lawsuit, but this is still a hearing and a protest and stuff. So to me, I just feel it's a waste of resources. I really don't see them changing it. You know what I mean? Because the other thing you have to look at is a referee is in place to be the peacekeeper. They're not perfect, you know what I'm saying? But they're put in place because they're the people in charge. They're the only one, aside from like the corner throwing in a towel or a doctor stopping the fight. They're really the only one with majority of the control other than the two fighters. And they have to kind of like matador the situation, break up clinches, warn, take points, stuff like that. So Tony Weeks was hired. He's worked several big fights, high-profile fights, Mayweather fights, whoever, Pacquiao fights. He's worked several fights. So, again, I just don't see where Kovalev's team is going, and I don't see it working, to be honest. I really don't. He was the man in charge. He made an executive decision. And like I said before, Kovalev, if what he's saying is true, it's still his fault. And I'm going to explain to you yet again. It's his fault for the simple fact that there's ways, if you want to protest, because you could protest and plead to a referee during the fight, but there are ways to do it. If somebody's hitting you low or doing something, then you have to find a way, a lull in the action. Similar to if a fighter gets their mouthpiece knocked out, the referee doesn't just jump and stop it immediately. He waits till there's deadened action, and then he'll be like, okay, break. And then he'll jump in between them, then take the fighter, walk him to his corner, and get his mouthpiece. But I've seen several fighters. I mean, look at James DeGale. He's getting his teeth knocked out from not having a mouthpiece and all that. You know what I mean? Versus Badu Jack. Shout out to my dude Badu Jack. But the point being is, the referee is not, you have to fight without a mouthpiece because they have to wait for that break. So Kovalev, if he felt he was getting low blowed and he wanted to protest and he was like, oh, he's dirty, he's dirty. You know what I'm saying? You got to spin out, create some space. He's trying to jump on you. That's what, if someone feels they have a wounded animal and you can't take their body work, then they're going to try to do more of the body work. Ward is a veteran. He's an Olympic gold medalist. That's how the game goes. So if you felt what he was doing was dirty, you spin out, create 3 or 4 feet, and then be like, oh, hey, you know what I mean? Then protest. You don't wait till someone, it looks like they're onslaughting, you're folding up and falling and putting your butt on the rope. That's not how you do it. You know what I mean? Take a knee. If you take a knee, you get a count, and then you can explain to it. You know what I'm saying? And you be like, hey, he hit me low, he hit me low. And then, you know what I mean? But you don't just allow someone to look like they're toying with you. And then again with the hearing, I was at the fight. This was not the first point where he was folding his body up and stuff like that. This happened earlier, and Ward even backed up. So if Ward is dirty, see, oh my God, I could be a lawyer. Listen, so if you guys watch the fight, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's an earlier point before the actual stoppage. So if Ward was dirty, then why did he back off when Kovalev folded up? And he even talked about it at the press conference. So you guys should know what I'm talking about, what Ward did, right? So if he was dirty and he was just intentionally, like Kovalev's team is saying, he was just trying to cripple or like use dirty tactic because he was in trouble, then why did he back off when Kovalev folded up earlier, when it happened like maybe 2 or 3 rounds earlier, right? He could have just jumped and kept doing it. Tony Weeks didn't stop him. Tony Weeks didn't say break or anything. So he would have did it then. So it just, that right there shows you that there's no malicious, oh, I'm trying to get an advantage because I'm in trouble type of thing. Because if that was the case, Tony Weeks didn't break him off, and Ward pulled himself off of Kovalev when he folded the first time because he was like, what the hell? And he didn't know why he did that or whatever. So it is what it is. Like I said, it's a waste of resource, and I'm probably not going to talk about this too much more because it's a waste of time. There's way more things to talk about than this. This is just the latest news. I want to give you my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.